Everyone in the village knew the rule. Don't follow the laughter into the forest after dark. But when little Emma heard the giggles of her lost brother calling her name, she stepped beyond the tree line and never came back the same. The forest behind the village of Bramblewood was ancient. Its trees were tall, their gnarled branches tangling overhead like twisted veins. By day, it was a realm of sunlight and birdsong, but at night it changed. The villagers didn't need tales to be told. The warnings were etched into their bloodlines. Children disappeared there, always children, and the ones who returned weren't quite right. No one dared speak of them. They had the same eyes, the same voice, the same way of smiling, but something behind their gaze felt hollow, like a mask stretched too tight over something else. Emma was 9 when her brother, Tommy, vanished. He'd gone into the forest on a dare from the older kids. He never came back. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, Emma hadn't said much. She'd stopped drawing, stopped humming, stopped eating the blueberry jam that her mother made every Sunday. But last night, she heard him. It was almost midnight when the sound came through the open window. A gentle giggle, her brother's voice whispering, "Emmy, come play." She bolted upright in bed. Her heart slammed in her chest. She knew that laugh. It was Tommy's. The exact way he used to laugh when he hid behind the couch and tried to scare her. She slipped out of bed, her bare feet quiet on the wooden floor. "Tommy?" she whispered. Another giggle floated through the air, coming from the tree line beyond the fields. "I'm just playing hide and seek. Come find me." She didn't wake her parents. She didn't put on shoes. She just followed. The forest was colder than she expected. The air was damp. Fog slithered through the underbrush like lazy serpents. Moonlight filtered weakly through the treetops, making the world look like a faded photograph. "Tommy?" she called again. A little louder. More laughter. Not just one now. Multiple. Children's voices, overlapping, echoing between the trees. She should have turned back, but the sound of her brother's voice pulled her deeper. She pushed through brambles and over mossy roots until she came upon a clearing bathed in pale moonlight. And there they were. Children. Dozens. Laughing, spinning, skipping in a circle. And in the center, Tommy. He stood smiling, arms open. "Emmy, you found me." Emma froze. "Tommy, where were you? Everyone's looking for you." He tilted his head. His smile didn't fade. "I've been playing. You can stay too." Something about his tone made her shiver. Then she looked at the other children. They were strange. Their clothes were old dripped pinafores, suspenders, shoes with holes. Their hair was tangled with leaves. Their smiles didn't reach their eyes, and their eyes were too dark, too black. One of the girls stepped toward her. "Play with us, Emma." Emma took a step back. Tommy frowned. "You don't want to be boring like the others, do you? You always loved games." "This isn't right," she whispered. "You're not Tommy." The children stopped spinning. They stared. The air dropped 10 degrees. Tommy's face began to stretch. His smile widened unnaturally, his teeth sharpening as the skin at the corners of his mouth cracked. "Don't be rude, Emmy," he said in a voice layered with echoes. "You came to play." Emma turned and ran. She didn't know how long she ran, branches slashing her arms, thorns tearing at her nightgown. The laughter followed her, growing louder, closer, high-pitched and wild. She stumbled onto a narrow path and followed it without thinking. It led to a small wooden hut deep in the forest. A faint light glowed inside. She burst through the door and slammed it shut behind her. Inside sat an old woman, stirring something in a pot over the fire. "You shouldn't be here, child," the woman rasped without turning around. "They've marked you now." Emma sank to her knees, sobbing. "They looked like children, my brother." "They're not children. Haven't been for hundreds of years." The woman turned, her eyes pale and sad. "Those are forest echoes, shadows wearing skins of the lost. They mimic what you miss most. So you'll follow." Emma's voice cracked. "Can I get him back?" The woman shook her head. "He's part of them now. The only thing you can do is survive and make sure they don't follow you home." Emma stayed in the hut until dawn. When the first rays of sun touched the trees, the laughter faded like smoke in the wind. She made her way back to the village, scratched, shivering, and silent. Her parents held her tightly, overjoyed. But Emma said nothing. She stopped playing. She kept her curtains shut, and every night, she placed salt on the window ledge and whispered a rhyme the old woman had taught her. "If the forest calls, don't reply. If laughter floats, let it die. Shut your windows, lock the door. Let the forest take no more." But it wasn't over, because 1 week later, a boy in the village named Jonah heard his sister's voice calling from the trees. And when Emma passed by his house that night, she saw him at the edge of the forest, smiling, barefoot, eyes glazed. She didn't stop him. She knew what waited in the woods, and deep down, she feared one day she might answer the laughter again, even though she knew the truth. The children in the forest aren't really children. They're what's left after the forest eats your soul and spits out your smile. The end.